One of my favorite podcasts is the Joe Rogan Experience, aka Oprah for Men, or Bropra, if you will. Joe has an incredible range of guests on, and I have him to thank for a number of excellent books that I've read. I have one more to add to that list now. He recently had a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Haidt on, and he is one of the authors of a fascinating yet kinda scary book called The Coddling of the American Mind. The subtitle of the book is How Good Intentions and Bad Ideas Are Setting Up a Generation for Failure. This is not a long book, but it is a very deep book. And as you may have gathered from the subtitle, it's tackling a big subject. You'll need to divert some brain power to it, but it's very much worth it. Haidt, who is a social psychologist, and his fellow author Greg Lukianoff, who is a First Amendment expert, look into what they call the three great untruths and how many of today's social trends have intersected to spread these untruths. Those three great untruths are: what doesn't kill you makes you weaker, always trust your feelings, and life is a battle between good people and evil people. They explore the changes that have happened to childhood, like the rise of fearful or helicopter parenting, the decline of unsupervised child-directed play, and influences such as social media. They also peel back the changes that have happened in the education system, like the corporatization of universities and the emergence of new ideas about identity and justice. All of this, of course, taking place in an America that appears to have rapidly rising levels of political polarization. Like I said, it's a deep book. It reveals how social media and the echo chambers that it creates trains the worldview of its users. What we see happening on a number of campuses in the US and increasingly around the world is that iGen, the generation that has grown up with social media as an intrinsic part of their daily life, are now making their way into and through university. The combination of being helicopter parented and having social media only feed them things they agree with is having a terrible impact on their mental health and stunting their maturity curve. Here is a quote that shows the current state. In 2017, 58% of college students said that it is important to be part of a campus community where I am not exposed to intolerant and offensive ideas. This statement was endorsed by 63% of very liberal students, but it's a view that is not confined to the left. Almost half of very conservative students endorsed that statement too. This goes against the principle of education should not be intended to make people comfortable, it is meant to make them think, by Hannah Holborn Gray. The whole point of education, especially higher education, is to train people to think critically and get them ready for life out in the real world, where no one gives a shit about your feelings. Or as the book says, prepare the child for the road, not the road for the child. It is a fascinating book, and it provides a real insight into what's happening out there and goes some way to explain the apparent divide that's occurring in many parts of society. It's not all doom and gloom though. It doesn't just report on what's going on and leave it at that. It closes by offering practical advice to individuals, parents, and colleges. I recommend this book with the caveat that it might be a bit of a niche interest. But if you're looking for an insight on the impact of social media crossed with generational changes, I think you'll really enjoy it.